Gerd Leonhard for a special talk.
Thank you. Namaste. I hope the future is better than the music. So, great pleasure to be with you today. So I live in Switzerland, and my job is to speak about the future. It's very important to realize that the future is not something that we can predict. It's a future something that we can have intuition about, and hunches, and ideas. And first of all, the future is not something that just happens to us. The future is defined by what we do today. Right? The future is something that we make. It's very interesting when I talk about my work and generally speaking what the future entails. Many people have this idea that you can kind of have a safe and easy future. But the reality is technology is absolutely changing everything in our lives, as we've just seen. And on the one hand, I look at technology, I look at digital data and cloud computing and all these things. And on the other hand, I look at what it means to be human. Because what is the good of great technology if we can't be human? We have a great example in social media. Amazing technology, lots of money being made by advertising, but social media has become a major issue as well. Not because of our kids, but because of the way it changes opinions and the way that we receive information. So our mission in the future, especially in India, being such a large country, where we know everybody is now connected, right? We need to make sure that we find a way of balancing the power of technology with the power of humanity. And I think what we're seeing right now in ChatGPT and AI is what I call a Sputnik moment. Remember the Russians, when the Russians put the Sputnik? Americans freaked out. Right? Because apparently the Russians were ready to go to Mars or whatever. And now Microsoft, Google, and everybody wants to go to the moon with ChatGPT. Do we realize, however, that we only went, allegedly, to the moon once? Right? We didn't go back. Right? So everything around space travel, of course, is making a big comeback now, but ChatGPT is kind of like this. It feels like a giant reset moment, but first we have to go to the moon, okay? And we have to talk about what is real and what is not real, and separate the hype from the truth. And if you see the numbers in India, it's quite clear that India is now becoming a digital masterpiece, so to speak. Right? Now we need to figure out what exactly are we doing with this. And if artificial intelligence is going to be used by, what is it now, 800 million Indians that are connected, soon with 5G, what will they be doing? I can guarantee what they'll be doing is to pull out their mobile and speak to ChatGPT and ask questions about anything and expect that to be the right answer. Now, this would obviously be pathetic, right? It's like Google Maps. We all use Google Maps, but we know, it's sometimes not so accurate. We laugh about it and we turn it off, and it's a fact of life. It's not the truth. And when we look at opinions, it's hard to find the truth. Right? It's hard to find the definitive answer. There is no such thing as an answering machine. Right? There's a search engine, that's great, because we make up our own mind. But an answering engine, that's inconceivable that a technology would give us conclusive answers about everything. And so I want to ask you, what do you believe in? Do you believe in technology being better than humans? In other words, we don't have real soldiers anymore, we have AI soldiers, and we don't have politicians, we have AI politicians, which some people have suggested. What do you believe in? Right? Do you believe in technology, or do you believe that we have to put the human inside? And put the human over technology? Think about that for a second. Right? I mean, in the end, technology is a tool, like a hammer, and ChatGPT is a fancy hammer. Right? A guy who builds a house with a hammer does not pray to the hammer. He may pray to the house, that he has built, or the village he lives in, but the hammer is just a tool. If he doesn't have a hammer, it's a problem, but we have to make a difference between the tool and the purpose. Okay? That is a very important definition, especially when we talk about education, for example, which I'll comment shortly. Really what it comes down to is this. We're going to have to hyper-collaborate to figure out what to do about this. Here in India, and I live in Switzerland, so in Europe, but on a global level, because if we take artificial intelligence to its conclusions, it could in some ways become so powerful that we stop understanding what we are, right? Because we